With The Marvels coming out and being the MCU's lowest box office opening weekend of all time, coming in at only $46 million, and a substantial drop-off on its second week, things aren't looking too good. And I'd figure now would be a good time to do a bit of a State of the Union for Marvel Studios, and give my perspective on what's going on, how it could change, and where they could be going in the future. It's no secret right now that Marvel is not in a good spot. Its most recent theatrical release was pushed back multiple times, and still debuted to $46 million. And don't get me wrong, $46 million is an incredible amount of money for any one individual person. However, the cost of this film is north of $250, possibly $300 million.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Yes, I am speaking about the domestic box office. International is a bit better, but as of right now, this film is not tracking to even break even. In addition, Loki Season 2 came in with only about 40% of the viewership of Season 1. Additionally, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was one of the worst performing movies they had up until recently. And now, we don't even know what's going to be happening moving forward, because things have shifted around significantly because of the strikes. What we do know for certain is that right now, Deadpool 3 is Marvel's best chance to revitalize their franchise moving forward. And reportedly, it's what they're putting all of their focus into. Which makes sense. It's bringing back two of their most popular characters, Wolverine and Deadpool, and teaming them up for the first time since the movie we will not talk about. This is their chance to bring in all of the fan favorites, the bells and whistles from the X-Men universes, both the First Class and the original series, and be able to cross them over with certain characters from the Marvel universe. According to Ryan Reynolds, they haven't been told no to anything just yet, and are trying to push the envelope as far as they can to see what Marvel will really let them get away with. Kevin Feige was also a producer on some of the first X-Men films, which makes sense that he would have such a soft spot in his heart for these characters. I mean, spoiler alert, but is it really a spoiler alert at this point? They brought back Kelsey Grammer as Beast in the post-credit scene, or mid-credit scene, of The Marvels. Yes, it was different from what we had in the original movies, but, I mean, CGI is the quickest way they could have done it. So there is that hope that we will have something up to the standards of the previous MCU entries. However, that's just one film. At the same point, we're also getting the Thunderbolts and Captain America 4, which is rumored to have massive reshoots coming up soon. It's been reported that Captain America 4, New World Order, or whatever the heck it's called now, Brave New World, I don't know, is going heavy on their reshoots, and apparently the storyline just wasn't working. This is unfortunate, considering this is going to be our first time seeing Harrison Ford come in as Thunderbolt Ross, being the Red Hulk. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't cut that out of the film. However, that's just another symptom of the rot of the MCU currently. Whether it's alienating fans, deteriorating quality of the writing, and CGI, which, sidebar, it looks like hopefully soon the CGI will be fixed, considering all of the VFX artists are unionizing. But we will also see how that pans out, considering sometimes people in unions don't put in the best work. I mean, look at the recent MCU entries we've had. The Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the reduced viewership in Loki Season 2, but minimum guarantee it'll give them better working conditions and at least, hopefully, more time to put in to make quality work, instead of churning these out at a rapid pace. Which leads me to my next point, oversaturation of the market. Yeah, there's a lot of talk right now about superhero fatigue, and maybe people being done with these films. However, I don't think it's necessarily fatigue of these films. It might be the frequency, and honestly, I'm kind of on board with that. And I do like that they're taking a step back and only putting one film out next year, being Deadpool 3. It lets them focus all of their effort onto this one project, and make sure that they're not going to split themselves too far. However, they are absolutely going to have to iron everything out before they start rolling on the next Avengers film, which we should also talk about. It's being rumored right now that Avengers Kang Dynasty is being shelved. The director has stepped away from the project, amicably, which is good, since now he's going to be focusing most of his time on Shang-Chi 2. However, it's also being reported that the writer is fired. Reportedly, they're going to be moving away from Kang and into Doctor Doom. To be determined. But what we do know for sure is whatever they've been planning is not panning out. And I'm not talking about the Jonathan Majors situation. That's its own beast, and honestly, I'm not going to touch that anymore. I don't know how many times I can say innocent until proven guilty and I still get yelled at in the comments, so. But it seems like the problem here is Kang as a concept, and that's what they're going to have to fix. We'll just have to wait and see if they switch it from Kang Dynasty to Secret Wars Part 1 and 2, but we do know that they recently trademarked Eternity Wars. So who knows? Maybe it's going to be Secret Wars, followed by Eternity Wars for Part 2, and just shift everything forward a little. I don't know. No one does except for the Marvel Brain Trust. It's going to be a while until we see anything. I also do believe that a majority of the problem is coming from Disney Plus, specifically the frequency that we're getting the Disney Plus shows, as honestly, I don't think that it's going to be up to the same caliber as the movies. And that's pretty evident, considering we look at the fact that none of the shows actually had dedicated showrunners, and there was no talk between what was happening in the TV shows and the movies. I mean, think about the massive change that we had from WandaVision to Multiverse of Madness. How is that the same character? The main problem that we're having right now is the lack of consistency. Until they break that cycle and have producers working together cohesively and truly interweaving all of their narratives, it's just going to continue to fall apart. Because realistically, what do they all have in common? The answer is not much. And yes, I do understand that sometimes you need to have your own encapsulated bottle episodes and bottle series. Even movies, realistically. But if you're trying to build towards something like Secret Wars, which now has been pushed back multiple times, and you're having all of these individual chess pieces with no overarching plan to tie them all together, they're just going to end up being loose threads. And eventually, we're just going to forget about them. And there's even talk about Marvel doing a reboot after Secret Wars, and this has gotten to the top of the top. I mean, even MatPat is talking about this now. So you know there's some legitimacy here. And personally, I think that's okay. A reboot might actually revitalize this franchise. Yes, I do understand that when the Marvel Universe was created, the MCU I mean, they were using some of their B-tier characters, since the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man had all been sold off during Marvel's bankruptcy in the 90s. But now, besides Spider-Man, realistically, the core Avengers lineup from 2012 is what people want to see. And now, we really can't see those characters as much anymore. I mean, Hawkeye's basically retired, Cap retired, Iron Man died, Black Widow died, Hulk is Hulk, and Thor is apparently now a dad. So unless they do a reboot, we can't get back to that core lineup that people really want to see. Overall, the MCU is in a dark spot, and you can tell by the decline in viewership in the shows, as well as the decline in ticket sales. I mean, for God's sakes, the Marvels debuted lower than The Flash. The Flash!
Excuse me, what?
But this could all change. And I know me personally, I'm really hoping for a change soon. But what do you think? Comment down below and let me know. Do you think Marvel is in a dark spot? Possibly its darkest yet? Do you think they can change it around without a reboot? Let me know down below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more. If you'd like to support the channel, think about becoming a member. And as always, have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.